Good morning. You made it. It's Monday. And I'm right on time, 5:45. Welcome, everybody. Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine was action-packed. Let's see. Everybody's woken up this morning and got their coffee. Always like to give everybody a few minutes to start joining. Hey, Mike Costle, how you doing this morning? Thank you for being up and joining us. Mr. Miller over here on YouTube, thank you. Rob, 71917 joined. Kanta joined. Gabe joined. Good morning, everybody. If you're doing a drive-by, stop, see what's going on. This is where we have coffee and conversation on Monday morning, and then we talk about some of the highlights and get our week started off right. Thanks, Lloyd, for the likes. I appreciate it. If you're new here, let me know where you're from. If you'd like to join the fan club, don't forget, just send me one of those heart me's, and that adds you to the fan club totally free. You can always share the live. Tap on the screen if you like the live, that helps too. Linky joined, Landon joined, Stevie joined. This is a live where everybody needs to participate, because the more you engage, the better the live. Because this is the lives where, like I said, the more you engage, the better the live. Paulie 52 joined, Todd, Lil joined, Tam joined, Dan joined. Good morning, everybody. I hope you brought your coffee and your conversation this morning. It's always hard to get started on Monday morning. You ever notice that? It's even hard for me to get started on Monday morning. Not to get up, but just to jump up and be chipper. And I'm a morning person, so I've had maybe a half a cup of coffee already. I had to run in the house and grab a refill. The big back of skiing joint. I like that. That's a good handle. Nate Lug joined. Hey, good morning, Nate. Morning, Ed. How you doing? Danush joined over here on YouTube. Hey, Danush, thank you for joining us. If it's your first time here, let us know where you're from. Oh, that dang microphone just drives me nuts. Hey, everybody. Well, I like that y'all all hung around while I was talking to myself. I can see that being recorded. Oh, man. See, I told you it's Monday morning. Everybody has a hard time getting going on Monday. Yeah, it works a lot better on live when the mic's turned on and people can hear what you're saying. D. Aruna joined on. Kim joined. Hey, how's it going? Hey, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for joining this morning. Yeah, it cracks me up. Here I am talking about how you're half asleep on Mondays, and Monday's hard to get wound up and get started is because I had the microphone turned off. So everybody, oh well, y'all can all make fun. It's okay. Put it in the comments. Like, you're old. It's okay. Feeble-minded. Thank goodness mowing God wasn't here. He would have already been giving me the business. Oh, anyway, yeah, so it's Monday morning. It was a crazy weekend. Oh, thanks. Morning, Kim. Morning to everybody on YouTube. If you're, like I said, if you're here new, thank you. Have a great day. Thanks. That's great. Share this live with your friends and family. We're always looking to pull in some more viewers. Joe, hey man, what's up? Confederate. Oh, Joe. Joe, have you ever considered are you a veteran? I am not a veteran, but I definitely salute veterans. Thanks, Joe. Joe, have you ever considered changing your icon? It's just a little strange to me. You're welcome to join here, but I just thought, wow. I did. Please tell my name. D. Aruna join over here on YouTube. Thank you, D. Can I just call you D? Anyway, D. Aruna, thank you for joining. Taylor Williams just joined on YouTube. Thank you very much. What is this all about? This is called Morning Coffee Talk, Taylor. This is where we have a group of us that join. We have coffee. We talk about the day. We razz each other and all that fun stuff. So let's see here. Start the morning off right. If you're a football fan and you watched any sports this weekend, and I watched some, but I was really pretty busy most of the weekend. I finished this wall back behind me here. I'll show. You can see that part of it over there that's unfinished. And let's see here. I put together that right there. That's also that's just a privacy wall, so that, but I am going to hang some maybe neon lights on it, that type of stuff. All my people on TikTok, I'll show you that in here in just a minute. Been arguing about sports, but not watching it. So the Chiefs, they stumbled and fell yesterday. That was against the Denver Broncos, losing 22-19 on a field goal with like 2 or 3 seconds left in the game. And I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so hated to see that. And then, you know, a couple of other games that you might mention. Philadelphia squeaked by the Lions 16-9. They have an overall record now of Philadelphia's got a good team this year. They're 8-2. And a late rally by the Baltimore Ravens beat the Cleveland Browns 23-16. So tonight is the night. Monday Night Football will be Dallas and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders being 2-7 for the year. And Dallas is like a lotto ticket number 3-5-1. So anyway, yeah. So there's your NFL update. And I'm sure if you're a football fan, you probably already knew that. Jeremy Mako over here on TikTok. Do you eat popcorn tarts with your coffee? No, Jeremy, I don't eat any breakfast, just coffee. Yeah, it's the last week before the holiday fun starts. You know, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. So that's always a fun thing. Ed's saying that the Chicago Bears now first place and all by themselves. Yeah. The Chicago Bears do have a decent team this year. Let's see. Goodness, yeah, Chiefs are going to be like, and they're, yeah. You know, the Chiefs, you know, they're kind of like just middle of the road. They're not really dominating like they have in the last few seasons. Please tell them my name, father name, Hema Rowe. Come on. Okay. Let's see what else. Let's see what I was looking at something else here. Currently, it is at 5:11 a.m. It was 71 degrees here, and I think it's supposed to be up to about 80 today. Ugh. It feels a little sticky and humid. Oh, well, because the humidity is like at 89% here. If you're out in West Texas where Cal Cop lives, it's probably much drier. I think they said it was like 55 out there this morning. Is it in the 50s there in Illinois this morning? Thought I saw something where it said it was like 52 or something to that effect. I did have nope, 35. Ooh, it's 35. I wish we had some 35-degree weather here. It'd be nice. I mean, I kind of like the warm weather sometimes. Well, this past weekend was good because I had projects I was working on trying to get wrapped up and was able to do that. I now have some more space on the wall. I've got a few more signs to put up. People keep bringing them to me. So that's always fun. Let's see, what else was on? Oh, here we go. So this is going to be called Would You Rather? Would you rather be 12 than 52 or not? Okay, I'm just talking to myself. Here we go. Let's see here. Let me find one. Would you rather? Would you rather live where it snows all the time or where it's hot? If you had a choice, if you had a choice, where would you rather live? Where it's cold and snowed or where it's hot? Just put your answer in the comments. I don't think everybody woke up this morning, Ed. Either that or we started early. That's funny. Oh, yeah. It's 28 right now in Illinois. Ooh, that's even worse. Well, I don't think I'd want to live where it snowed all the time. But I'm not sure I want to live where it's hot all the time. Well, but I do because it's hot here most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. We do have a very short winter. Some years shorter than others, but anyway. And you can see here that I'd rather be there for season. Yeah, you know, like I said, I have friends that have moved from Illinois, Missouri, where, you know, other states where it gets, where you actually have a winter and it snows. And one of the guys he grew up on the south side of Chicago, and he says he'll never move back where he has to shovel snow again. So I'm guessing he didn't like the cold weather. It wasn't kind to him. Anyway, I was waiting to see if Cal Cop was going to join this morning because I had a interesting fact about cows, which he probably already knows, but I was just going to, maybe I'll hold off on it. So here's a weird fact. You ready? Did you know sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins? They do it by slowing their heart rate down. They can hold their breath up to 40 minutes. Eventually we'll move probably South Texas. Yeah. Yeah. Ed said something about, you know, maybe he'll retire down around San Antonio. Never know. That's good. Let's see. Walter the dog. I've been getting pretty into metal forming using aluminum flats. Do you have any experience? I don't. I've never seen anything. That's interesting, though. When you say aluminum flats, are you talking? Is it really just a flat piece of aluminum? Walter, if you have a website or a YouTube channel, let us know. Put it in the comments. I'd like to check that out. That sounds interesting. Do you eat popcorn tarts with your coffee? No, I don't normally eat breakfast. Jay Chisel just joined. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday. There's mowing God. Yeah. Good morning, Jay. How you been doing, buddy? Let's see what we got going over here. Which country? I'm in the USD, Runa. United States. Morning, Jay. C Stump, do you know what no, I don't. Question of the day. Yeah, I have another one here too. I was wondering if Calcop was going to join, but here, let me, so on this day in history, here's that's going to be my headliner here. I'm going to ask a quick question. Thanks for the gifts and the hearts and the roses and all that. I appreciate that. Makes a big difference. Okay. Did y'all know that on this day in history, the computer mouse was patented? In 1970, the first computer mouse was patented by Douglas Engelbart on November the 17th, 1970. Can you imagine? I wonder what they did with, I know I've always had a mouse. I think maybe that's when the technology probably got better. All right, let's see. What is it? Let me tell you, need to pick yourself up some Blue Bottle coffee. Blue Bottle coffee. Okay. What's Blue Bottle coffee? Is that just a brand, my God? Made out of brick, Mickey Mouse. That's red. It's a brand. It's good. I'll have to check it out. Huh. I don't know if it's available in this part of the country, but I guess I could always order it on Blue Bottle coffee. Target. Oh, okay. Well, I got a Target just right around the corner. I'll have to go check it out. And my God, is it ground coffee that you can brew yourself? Is that, it's not ready to drink or anything like that, is it? C Stump, man, don't go there. Okay, so here's another useless fact on this day in history. The Suez Canal was opened, connecting the Mediterranean and Red Seas. How about that? It was apparently a big time saver for shipping traffic. And in 1973, I'm not a crook. U.S. President Richard Nixon made this famous public defense during Watergate scandal, telling reporters that I'm not a crook. Isn't that funny as hell? He's a politician. What do you mean he's not a crook? That's funny. Anyway, this is a few kind of Monday morning. I'm telling you, on Monday mornings, it's hard to come up with stuff to talk about. Let's see here. And in the college football world, which is kind of where I live sometimes, I'm a college football fan. Looks like Ohio State's still 10-0. Indiana's 11-0. A&M is 10-0. And here are some highlights. Let's look down here. A&M at halftime was getting beat 30-3. I mean, South Carolina put it on them the first half. And you figure that everybody thought that A&M, that was it. That was going to be their first loss of the year. But guess what? You're not going to believe it's the biggest comeback in a Texas A&M history. And they erased a 27-point deficit to come back and win it at the very end, 31-30. So they picked up their 11th win there. And South Carolina, all the stuff they did right the first half, they couldn't do anything right the second half. Never give up. That's good coaching. Yeah, it is. The Longhorns, yeah. I knew you had to go there, but I'm okay with that because unlike a lot of fans, I didn't expect them to beat Georgia. And I could tell in the first quarter, Georgia was just, I mean, they had a lot of fight in them, but Georgia was just a better team. They couldn't move the ball. And Georgia ends up giving them a spanking. I think it was like 35-10 was the final score. The last few minutes of the game, I just was like, okay, I got to go find something else to do. Nobody likes to watch their team get beat up on. But I wasn't surprised. I never picked Texas to win, not even in an upset. All the sports, some of the sports people like Pate, Josh Pate said, it would be a miracle if Texas won, and I had to agree with him. The guy here in Texas that's local radio shows was, talking it up like it could be an upset. No upset, guys. It was just a butt whipping, which is kind of what I expected. Hopefully, Texas has 2 more games to play this year, one against Arkansas. That depending on if they're not too beat up from the Georgia game, they could and should win, but there's no guarantees there. And then, of course, they have to play Texas A&M, and that's a home game. So that gives them a little bit of an advantage. But, man, if you've watched A&M this year, they just have a really, really good team. And Texas may end up with another loss there. And that's only if they can pull out a win against Arkansas. So they'll have a bowl game probably this year, but it's what I call the toilet bowl game for after the season. And but they're not going to be in the college playoffs. I don't see that at all. I'd like to see Indiana and Texas A&M be in the college playoffs because Alabama got beat this weekend at home by Oklahoma. And that was a pretty good game. I actually watched it too. And I'm not an Oklahoma fan. I'm not an Alabama fan. But Alabama, was ranked right up there at the top. And they still will probably be in the playoffs. But, yeah. Anyway, that's where that is. Arkansas by 30. See, Stump, really? You think Arkansas by 30? I haven't really kept up with them this year. I don't even know what. I know they've lost some games to some. That's weird. Yeah, Arkansas is like, they're not even in the top 25, I don't believe. Here we go. Let's see what this says. Let me see. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Arkansas will beat Texas by 30, but Texas best not get lax. Kenny joined. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Starch Manning, release the files. So, don't blame it on Manning. I mean, that poor kid, I mean, I don't think he's had a great season by a long shot. I think any other quarterback that didn't have his name and didn't have the $6.6 million NIL deal would have been benched. But they've stuck with him. And I mean, if you think about it, who do they have to replace him? Their backup quarterback. We've seen him, come in and play a handful of plays, and he's done all right. I mean, he's saved our bacon a couple of times even. But we had never seen him play a full game, and that's always a different story. So, in his defense, I think that, maybe next year he'll be better. I don't know. I didn't think he played a bad game against Georgia. The problem is they just killed themselves with penalties and sloppy play, and our offensive line was just outmanned. I mean, Georgia's defense they had our number. Tess joined. Good morning, Tess. How you doing? So is everybody ready for Thanksgiving? I'm as ready as I'm going to get, I think. The whole crew's going to work this morning. Porter Rockwell decided we're going to have a ham on Sunday, breakfast on Thanksgiving. Man, that sounds like a good deal.
Sorry, live.
Yeah, my oldest granddaughter's starting a new job this morning. She's going to be working with special needs children, so she's excited about that. Donna's World just joined. Hey, Donna, how you doing? Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate that. Ed, I agree with you. Our Congress is back. The government's open again. But they definitely need to get back. Ready for work and have a good day? Yes, I'm absolutely ready. It's funny. I usually don't get on TikTok and scroll much on Sundays, but I was sitting. I had a moment where I was actually sitting down and just kind of reflecting on the week and getting ready for today, and I hit TikTok and a live comes up, and it's a guy that's, he's probably, I think he said he was 52 or 53. And what caught my attention in his live is he was talking about the loss of his job and how the company that he worked for was a big company. And I thought the guy was telling my story. I really did. And so I had to stop and listen to see, what he was all about. And he seemed like a really good guy. Invited him to our live if he ever, maybe he doesn't get up that time of morning, but like I said, I would have thought he was telling my story. Same thing happened to him that's happened to me. And he was talking about, he had done some research and how tons and tons of large companies are just doing massive layoffs right now. So that really makes me wonder, are they doing massive layoffs just to improve the bottom line? to increase stock prices. I think some of it might be that, but I think big corporations do it a lot more often than we all hear about. But he was talking about some of his struggles. Unfortunately, being 52 at his age, he couldn't retire, and the struggles of being able to replace your job. When you get that age, companies are just not looking to, they're not looking to hire someone who's in their 50s. They're really looking to hire someone who's 25. So, yeah. And I've experienced that same thing when I was 50. And then, of course, I've been through several other layoffs, but I've been fortunate that I wasn't one getting laid off until now. But at least I'm closer to drawing Social Security than he was at 52. Put his family into a pretty big financial bind, but he's working his way out. So, that was a positive message from me. Had a busy week at church. Baptisms, always love baptisms. Funerals, they're always hard for me. That your loved one's going to heaven, and but still the loss is there. So sometimes I don't know how you do it, Ed, and I'm sure you have been to a lot of funerals, but also a lot of baptisms. So I guess you have to take the good with the bad. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So everybody praying for a quiet week. Bible studies on Thursday. All right, great. I'll look forward to that on Thursdays, our Bible studies. That's always my night to be able to just sit and reflect and be in the Word there. So that's good. Let's see what else is going on this week. I don't think much is going on. I think I'm going to take the guys out for one last lunch on the company. They told me I need to get that done this month. But with Thanksgiving right around the corner, and so we're going to have to, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but I'm going to try to get that done. See if the guys want to get together. A lot of them right now, they're trying to, they're out doing interviews and trying to get a job. So how far away from what's the best thing about Thanksgiving? Oh, I think being around your family is part of it, but lots of good food. Turkey. I like turkey. I like a roasted turkey. I'm not a pumpkin pie person. So everybody that likes pumpkin pie, put pumpkin pie in the comments, but I can't eat pumpkin pie. I can eat pumpkin bread, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin muffins, but just no pumpkin pie. I like pecan pie. I like coconut cream pie. I wasn't talking about food. I know. I get that. The family dinner. Exactly. I said more God is, being with your family. And my wife's, my side of the family is very, very small. My wife's side of the family, she's got 4 brothers and sisters. So that side of the family is really, really large and loud. And so, it's always fun when that gets together. It's about probably 30 people. And when we were younger, we always hosted it. And I mean, you try to, it got to where feeding Thanksgiving dinner to 30 people became a real Well, it just wasn't fun. I mean, it was fun for everybody else because they came at 8 and left, but we had to do all the prep and then all the cleanup. And so, yeah, after a few years of that, I was like, I'm not in for that anymore. This year, we have been invited to some close friends and family, and they just bought a big new home, and they want everybody to come there and celebrate their new home with them and have Thanksgiving dinner. And it's close by, so everybody's bringing something, and we're going to go have Thanksgiving dinner with them. So that'll be fun. Anywhere except the dinner table. Thank you, Mr. Jory. So yeah, I always look forward to that. I look forward to the 3-day weekend. That's always fun. Because we are actually off on the day after Thanksgiving too. So you got that, and then the weekend. And so, yeah, that's always fun. And then, you get past the Thanksgiving holiday and everybody's ramping up for Christmas. By the time Christmas is gone, yeah, then it's time for cleanup, and January hits, and we see where all that goes. Pitt is my name. Okay. Starch Manning released the files. I like that. That's pretty funny. Pretty funny. Do you feed your worker in the shed? Where are you going with that, my God? I'm kind of confused about what you were. My son just took the dog out. Like 28-degree air first kicked in. Yeah. Look at my God. I knew he's laughing. Here he's on. Well, I hope Casey's not on the road. I hope he's able to be home with his family for the Thanksgiving holiday here in the other country. That's right, my God, Texas. Peter, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Sarah just joined. Hey, Sarah, how's it going this morning? And she dropped off, baby, just a drive-by. Yeah. So what do y'all got going? I mean, you got plans for Thanksgiving? I know it's just right around the corner. Hey, Peter, everything's great. Thanks. Thanks for asking. How about you? Y'all have undocumented caretakers. Primary garage floor. Oh, yeah. I had, I've looked at doing mine 2 or 3 times. But most of the stuff that you buy at the big box store, it just doesn't last. I've done 2 or 3 garages, and even if you are real conscientious and, yeah, I mean, it'll last a while, but it has a tendency to want to peel. That's exactly what I do, my God. Priming, yeah. Yeah, because I don't know what you're using, but you have to power wash it, you have to etch it. But they got some new stuff out. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. We had our office shop done that way. Of course, what we had done was done professionally with some really good stuff, and they were able to do, I don't know, it was a couple thousand square feet of floor, and they did it in a day. But man, that stuff they used is really Was the floor slippery afterwards? So when you, so I can tell you this, on the floors where they do like a paint and not really, I might have to look it up. That's bugging me now. I gotta find it. I gotta remember what it's called. Epoxy. I don't think that's what they use. I looked it up once before. There we go. It's called polyaspartic. It's super tough. You could drop stuff on it. It never chips. And is it slippery? It can be if it's wet, if it's real wet. But usually in the polyaspartic garage flooring, they put fleck down. They don't have to. And they also, in the fleck, it's like some grit stuff that they put down. So that helps too. But we've been on that floor for a year now, a little over a year. And, you know, surprisingly, I thought it might be, but, you know, it hasn't been bad at all. 2-part epoxy. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing that they do too. When you have it done professionally, they bring in these big, look like floor scrubbers. But what they do is they take the top part of the concrete off and they level it out, and then, you know, vacuum. It has a vacuum attachment to it, so it's sucking up all the dust. But it doesn't matter. Even if you do that, you're going to have a lot of dust. And with the big box stuff, really all you're doing is etching the concrete with muriatic acid, and it'll, you know, it won't last you 20 years. You know, if you get 3 or 4 years out of it without it starting to peel, you've probably done a really good job. Just my experience with it. That's why I haven't done mine, is because I've considered it more than once, and just the fact that it's a lot of work too. You got to move everything out of your garage. You got to be able to let it dry for at least 24 to 48 hours. Some of the stuff is like 5 days before you can move anything back on it. You can walk on it within a couple of days, but you can't move any heavy stuff back on it, or at least that's what they recommend. So, but, you know, having somebody do it, professional companies that do it, you know, you could spend $1,000 for a 2-car garage. You could spend, you know, $1,000, $1,500. So, but you could have a really nice floor that would probably last you, you know, in a garage, probably the lifetime of the garage. But that's what I would look at as a polyaspartic. It's just a much tougher finish. And like I said, if you pick the right company and they, you know, ask questions about, you know, the prep part of it. But most of them have those sanding machines, and they get a really good, it kind of levels it out. They also, like any cracks that are in the floor, they have a sealer that they'll go in and fill those cracks and stuff so that you have a nice smooth finish. That's my experience with them. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. Off topic. What is your drywall experience like? I am terrible at drywall, and I cannot find a good drywall. When I was building houses, Peter, of course, we had tons of sheetrock guys, and some were okay, and there were a handful that were really good. That, I mean, they could go in and do sheetrock work, and you could not tell they had ever been there. I mean, just, they did phenomenal work. But in this day and time, I haven't been successful. I have a spot in my house. It's from settling. It's normal. It's in the ceiling, and I've had it fixed 3 or 4 times and spent several $100s each time. And within 2 or 3 months, it's right back. So nobody's been able to fix it permanently. And in Texas, where we, depending on what part of I-35 you live on, if you live on the west side, that's where all the rock is, the limestone, and they don't have issues with slabs settling. On the east side of 35, that's where all the farming happens, and that's all black farming dirt, and slabs on this side are what they call tension slabs, and they're engineered to float up and down, and they can go up and down as much as a foot at a time, depending on the moisture in the soil. And over time, you have sheetrock and lumber, and you'll get those fine cracks, and so yeah, that's what it looks like. And I haven't been able to find somebody who's if I could find one, it'd be worth paying them what they ask, but I haven't been able to find one. And I'm terrible at it. I can do small patches, but like if it's on a seam, anything where you have to tape and float it, I can do it. I know how to do it. I know what the steps are. I just can't make it look like I didn't just do it. So there you go. Cheek brown. Trying to put up a wall near a boiler with no room to get there. I don't know, just put a piece of outdoor carpet down. Sorry, I must have missed part of this. Yeah, you know, that's funny that you say put a piece of carpet down. I did put one down where my wife drives her car on. An old piece is an old area rug, and that way, you know, you don't get the black tire marks in your thing. And, you know, I don't know why I did it, but that's what I did. I hadn't done anything with it since then. Of course, if builders did a better job and sealed the concrete, you wouldn't ever need it. But, you know, that adds cost to the house. So that's where we're at. Hire somebody and share the wealth. Yeah, you can do that too. You can do that too. Stock minutes. That's funny. Yeah, so here I was gonna, let me see if I can, let me turn the camera just a little bit. I'm gonna so you see right there, I finished that section of the wall this weekend. I didn't show the TikTok peeps, so, and then you can barely see the back of that wall right there. That's just it's just kind of like privacy, so that when the garage doors open, they're not looking straight in here at my desk and stuff. And I'm going to put signs like this on the other side. So that's what I did this weekend. Those are the two projects. The wall took me a while. The partition didn't take too long. And I've got one other project for totes I'm going to do. Treville joined. Good morning. Yeah, so, you know, this new section here, I have, and like I said, I hadn't built it yet, but I'm sure y'all have all seen the frames where they, you can use those 27-gallon totes and they slide in and out. So I'm going to do something similar to that there, I think. And then I'm going to put a top on it so that you could use it for, you know, not really a workbench, but in case you had to pull a tote out, you have some place to set it while you take something out of it. Because there's certain things that you don't want to put up in the attic in Texas. It just gets too stinking hot. Nothing slopes around. because they don't leave the dealership. You have a ranch style home? No, actually, I don't. Most of the ranch style homes were built in the 60s and 70s. We built this house in 2006. It is rock. It's limestone rock on the outside, though. My dad, when he lived in East Texas, had a ranch style, what I'd call a ranch style home. But anyway, yeah, and so they got that going. Let's see what else. We're ramping up for Thanksgiving. Gonna take the guys to lunch probably sometime this week, maybe first part of next week. Got to look at the schedule because I'm thinking we're gonna skip. Of course, I know for sure we're gonna skip. That Thanksgiving weekend's gonna be a long one, so we'll do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then that's it for Thanksgiving week. And I'm taking the rest of the time off, so we won't do any lives past Wednesday. And then we'll come back the week after Thanksgiving and ramp up on Monday again. Let's see what else. Tracy, good morning. Jay Chisel popped in. I don't know if Jay's still hanging out or not. Anyway, so yeah, those are kind of the things we were doing. I'll have a question of the day video again. By the time I do a question of the day, it's always one question, and I post it on 2 or 3 formats. I do TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. But good morning, Tracy. How you doing? Good. I'm here to support the other country. Yeah, exactly. The other country, Maine. Monica, what's the temp where you're at this morning? Must be chilly where you're at. Doing good, thanks. Wisconsin Fishing, good morning. Good morning. How you doing on Monday? Everybody's getting ready in the house for Monday morning. Yeah, I always like it. I hear everybody in the house, and they're all ramping up for their Monday. And like I said, the oldest granddaughter she changed jobs. She was administrator at a swim school, but they just didn't have enough work for her. So she's taken on a full-time position, and she's working with handicapped kids, and that's what she likes to do. I didn't know that she had a passion for it, but I mean, I know she watches some. She's watched and taken care of some handicapped kids, but she seems to be excited about her new job, and so yeah. And most of these are kids that she'll be working with are kids that are on the spectrum, and it's like a behavioral type deal, and they're from ages like 2 to 8, I think is what she told me. So this first week she will be getting state certified to work with those kids. So she'll be spending the week during studying for her certification and going through some hands-on training, and then it moves forward from there. So yeah, and she can do all of that while she's still going to school. So it's funny, we were sitting at the kitchen table last night having dinner, and the discussion came up with a a lot of the kids that she went to high school with, and I'm guessing their parents or grandparents had a lot of money and can afford for them to pay their way through some pretty expensive colleges. And she's like, it's I wonder why, I'm having to work and pay my way through. And I said, well, I know it's not like having a free ride and somebody to, pay your way. But I'll tell you what, you're learning a lesson that everybody needs to learn, that there are no free rides ever. There's no such thing as a free ride. And that when you graduate with your bachelor's degree, knowing that you paid for it and you worked while you educated yourself, you will have a lot more gratitude for the education that you have, instead of somebody else paying the way and you just out playing because it's not your money. So if you don't have any skin in the game, it just don't count as much. You're ready for work? Absolutely. Morning. So that's my opinion. I mean, I think all kids, I wished college, I think college is a scam money-wise. I think a lot of people make a lot of money off of it, and they should be ashamed of themselves because the government waste our money by letting these colleges do that. So yeah, too bad people have to profit off of your kids' education, or anyone's, not just mine, anyone's kid. Anyone that's had to pay for somebody going to college knows how expensive it is. And, some people can afford it, but so many people cannot afford it. And so therefore, their kids don't get to get a college education because they can't afford it. But my theory is there's lots of ways to get a bachelor's degree, and a lot of ways that much cheaper than, what they pump in them in high school, and all the roses and everything's peachy keen when you go to college. Well, that's just not true. And they're not doing our children a service by doing that, because when reality jumps up and hits them in the face, a lot of kids, even today, that within the first few weeks of going off to college, return home and drop out because it's not what everybody made it out to be. And living in a dorm is not fun, especially with a bunch of strangers. And some of those people can be, really inappropriate, mean, so it's just like an extension of high school sometimes. You have two boys going into college, and it is very, very expensive. You're right. But, the other thing too is how many 18-year-olds really know what they want to do. I mean, they may say they know what they want to do. They may think they want to know what they want to do, but they don't. And how many people go to college, get a degree, and never work in the field that they have a degree in? At least half, maybe more. So, yeah. But I think if you have some skin in the game, and that doesn't matter, in anything you do in life. If you have no skin in the game, you probably might not care. If you have skin in the game, then it changes how you do stuff. Yeah, I remember people ask me all the time. They're like, "What college did you go to?" And I said, "Hard Knocks." And they're like, "Hard Knocks? Where's that college located at?" And I just look at them, and I was like, "Okay, well, you haven't been to college yet. So when you get your first year of college under your belt, come back and ask me that same question." And then usually a day or two later, they're like, "I got it. That was a joke, wasn't it?" I was like, "Yep." But you have to go to college to understand those kind of jokes. So, yeah. Does that be a negative? It sounds a little negative, doesn't it? I think college educations are really good, and I wish everybody could get one that wanted one, because I think a lot of people end up in mediocre jobs because they don't have a college education. I don't think it's depending on what you do. A college education could be really good for you, but then some instances not so much. As you get experience, if you got someone with 10 years experience or a college education, where what will happen there is if there were a promotion and you were both at the same level, you had 10 years experience, they had 2, you don't have a degree, they have a degree, they will end up being your boss, whether they're really qualified or not. So that's kind of how I explain why you should get a college education. Unless you're going to be a plumber, electrician, because those guys make big bucks. If you have some specialty trade, I really think that if I think somebody that was a really good carpenter, and I'm talking about somebody that could do cabinets. I mean, you have to be pretty versatile, but a really good carpenter could make a phenomenal living in this day and time just on their own, doing handyman work. Because I'm telling you, if I can't find people, I'm not the only people that can't find people. I hear people all the time like, man, do you know anybody? And I don't. And when I do run across somebody, I always save their contact information and recommend them. But it used to be a lot, but not so much anymore. Yeah. Used to be an electrician before he joined the Navy. Was he an electrician in the Navy, or did he do something different too? Well, the sun's coming up. It's Monday morning. It's about 89% humidity here in Central Texas, so it's really humid this morning. Yeah, for sure. I got a question for people. I got a question. Has anybody ever air conditioned a garage? Somebody, Jose, how you doing, buddy? Somebody suggested maybe soda dry here night. Okay. Somebody suggested like in the summertime that maybe I try to just air condition the garage instead of, I'm considering a lot of different things when it gets super hot. But it gets pretty warm in this garage in the summertime if you have the door closed, even if you have the door open. But I haven't really decided how I'm going to handle that part of it. I may have to move inside temporarily. But it'd be nice if I could figure out a way to, air condition maybe part of the garage. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but it's cold in Ohio. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I mean, in the summertime, it gets hot in Ohio and it gets hot in Illinois. I mean, right? Does it ever get to be like 100 degrees? Maybe one of those floor AC units. Yeah, I thought about that. Just not sure how it would work, how well they would work. But because I've used some before in emergency. Matter of fact, the last time our AC unit went out was summertime, and we had a friend had one that they loaned to us, and we tried to keep it in about 300 square feet, and it struggled to keep the temp at around 80, 85 degrees in the house. So I don't know. Maybe it was just that unit. But that's a good idea. And so, I even thought about how I could, you need something around it to go to the ceiling so that you didn't have to air condition as big a area. So I don't know. I hadn't decided how I'm going to do that yet. I guess I'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I know it gets in the 90s. Does it ever? Do y'all have very many 100-degree days there in Illinois in the summertime? I know it gets warmer there for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, like this, we've had some summers where it's 100 degrees every day for like 60 days straight. And those make for some really miserable, hot days. Not many, but occasion. Okay. All right. Well, guys, it is a 6:50, and I want to thank everybody for joining this morning. We'll be back tomorrow at 5:45. It's time for me to tootle off to my favorite place, work, just like the rest of you. So I want everybody to have a wonderful Monday. Go do something kind today. Get prepared for Thanksgiving because it's going to be right around the corner, and you know, what fun. Yeah, hang on a second. This is okay. There we go. That was my warning. TikTok makes you do those things so that they think you're a bot, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, everybody have a great day. Be back in the morning at 5:45. Bring your coffee and your conversation, and we'll see you then. All righty. Got to go.